Good evening to one and all. Before starting to the program, I would like to give you some instructions to the participants. Dear participants, I request all of you to disable your audio and video in order to save the data and for smooth conduct of the program. And also, if you are having any queries during the session, you can drop your queries into the chat box and we will be considering your queries after the session. Dear all, today in this evening, we all have gathered here through this virtual platform for the 17th webinar series that is organized by IEEE Malabar subsection in collaboration with the IEEE Malabar Hub. And today we have an eminent and a very vibrant personality for delivering the session, that is session on positive attitude in adverse situation. Today we have our guest, Ms. Amita Kamath. She is Marine Chief Engineer, External Surveyor, Director General of Shipping. And from her experience, she will be speaking to us and we will be getting a very good 1 hour session from her entire experiences. To give a brief introduction to Madam, I'll invite Dr. Sabik to go for the further procedure.
Hi everybody, today we have a different mode of introduction. I'll share a video which describes our resource person in detail. So we'll go for that video.
Hello, I'm Amita Kamath. I'm a Chief Engineer in Marine experience more than 10 years. Today, I welcome you on behalf of IEEE. You can see me as a guest host in this video to share my views regarding this profession. I stay in Calicut. I'm married to Chief Engineer Prablash Koleri and I have a 5-year-old daughter, Inara Koleri. I joined Merchant Navy in year 2003, that is almost 17 years back. The only thing that inspired me to join this profession was adventurous life. At later stages, I understood that this is not just about the job satisfaction, it's even about great responsibility, hard work, team spirit, awareness, knowledge, dedication towards your work, show bravery in harsh condition of the sea, ability in making quick decisions, not last but the least, confidence you have. It's just not about the physical strength, you need to even show the mental abilities. Back in 2003, very few ladies joined this profession. Today it's not the same anymore. Today more and more ladies are welcomed in this profession. I'm still in love with the ship and the sea. I wish you all a great life ahead. Signing off, Amita Kamath. The last thing I would love to say is that always believe in me. Thank you.
So welcome you ma'am, and today is a special occasion. Like today we are celebrating World Maritime Day as well. So it's a correct day that we have Ms. Amita Kamath on our webinar series. So on behalf of IEEE MSS and by personal behalf, I welcome Ms. Amita Kamath for this webinar. So over to you ma'am.
Thank you, Sabik sir and Taslima ma'am. I really appreciate that you have said more than enough right now, which I don't know. I wouldn't have even said it. So hello everybody, and warm and good evening to all. I hope everybody can hear it loud and clear. Is it?
It's very clear, ma'am. It's very clear, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay. Thank you. Let me introduce myself because the video was quite fast. Even I could not understand what I was speaking, so I got confused. So let me introduce myself. I am Amita Kamath. I'm a marine engineer with more than 10 years of experience. I'm married to Chief Engineer Prablash Koleri and I stay in Calicut. I'm basically from Karnataka, a small town called Tandeli. I have a 5-year-old daughter, Inara Koleri. Today I feel very much proud. It's an honor actually that I'm presenting in front of IEEE. When I was asked to present on some topic, I found it very difficult to, because it was a difficult challenge since most of us has access to everything, right? in like internet or media, social media, whatever they have on their fingertips. So it's very difficult what topic others might be interested in, so you don't get bored, as well as you can find something new. So mostly I thought like I'll be doing an interactive session, but it's quite difficult to do that on Zoom platform, because if everybody puts the mic on, then it's really difficult to understand what each and everybody is saying. So here today I'll be mostly sharing my experience on how to be positive in most adverse condition in life. Now, if you see adverse situations is not a small situations where you find I went to ATM machine and I just put a card, I did not get cash. That is not a what we call an adverse situation. Adverse situation here we can say like something life threatening situations where you'll find it difficult to survive, and you think there is no control over you. Every other person, somebody else is controlling your life, or you never planned it. So that is what we are going to discuss here. uh, so let us clear what is first attitude before starting everything, because mostly we hear like, oh, he has got a good attitude, keep it up. That sentence seems like it describes a person, and sometimes it's, oh, he has got an attitude, man, don't talk to him. Even that is describing a person. So by saying this just one line, we all can be judgmental. So we all can tell what a person is, how he can behave with you, or how he can be in future, how your relationship with that person might be. But okay, you understood, like you got two decisions of guy 1 and 2, but who is passing on this judgments? Ever you try to judge that person, it's very important, because some other person who is judging for us is not us, because we know us better than somebody else. So that is the point we are actually mostly discussing today, about this positive attitude. Now what normally what is an attitude? It's just a thinking or a feeling about something. Attitude can be formed by person's past or present. He has performed something in the past, like he has done some mistakes. Now you know
Amita, should I share this screen slides right now?
yeah, you can. You please, yeah, please, you if you can.
Yeah, wait.
Okay, that is me. Just working. Now, right now, I'm not doing such stuff. That is very olden days photos. Like that is my almost first junior engineer rank photos, where I joined the ship, and still I was very enthusiastic those days, because I used to love machineries. I used to be very fond of machines, and that is my husband. I'm married to him, and his name is Prablash Koleri. Uh, he supports me a lot in all my ventures. We have difference between our states, a difference in language, difference in all the barrier. The only thing we both think about is machines. That is what we both love. So that is the only part which keeps us together. Now that is enough. We'll go. Sabik sir, please keep that slide.
Yeah.
Now the attitude. We were talking about the attitude. Attitude of a person is defined by the psychological factors. Okay, what is the psychological factors now here? What he thinks, what is his ideas, what is his values, what is his beliefs, perception, etc. All these have a complex role in determining a person's attitude. Okay, now what actually the factors affect one person's attitude when he or she is being brought up? Now let us talk about the first, family. Family plays a very significant role in primary stage of a attitude in individual. Now family, because it's very close to child or mother's attitude, what mom is thinking, how mom is positively thinking. That is what we mainly uh, want to know here, because sometimes some parents are like, all the time they think like, oh, can he do it? Like when your child is going for some competition, oh, he cannot do it. But there are parents who tell like, no, that child can do it, and if he's not, it's okay, fine. That is the very beginning of a attitude starts. Now I'll just tell you why all these parts I'm discussing, because this in the end you will understand like why did I discuss all these things. And in families there is one more thing, like when you're discussing here, in same home you will find a difference between a male child and a female child brought up. Okay, if you have a brother, or if you're two brothers or a sister, it's totally different scenario in the home. If a brother and a sister, it's totally different. If two brothers, it's all different scenarios how they are brought up. Mostly I feel like I have seen around the world, but mostly in other, like you go to China or Spain or US, okay, you find all the there is no discrimination at all. Everything, even a hammering job or anything which has to be done, they both do it in equal parts and they don't feel it. That is why you can say like in some part of they are so much developed countries, because the attitude of the person is already modernized from the family itself. Now this I'll tell because I have conducted plenty of surveys in other parts of the schools, where mostly I hear like father discriminates between the female child and male child. That is mostly the girls, they say that thing, ma'am, in the house we found it discriminated, because they know it, they are being discriminated, but still they cannot raise a voice, and they get used to it so much that when they have a male or a female child, they will do the same with them. It's just the mindset, they have to do the same thing, because they have tolerated this for so many years, so they find it's okay, it's normal. But it's not normal. Now the second part comes very important, is society. How does the society play a very important part? Society, because languages, normally in society, if somebody doesn't know English, or is very much like they cannot speak proper English, I have seen, really you will come to know that English doesn't matter, it only matters in India. It doesn't matter in China or Spain. It's very difficult to even try to communicate with Spanish, German, and you go to the South American countries, it's very, they don't understand English a bit. So you will find it very, you will feel it if somebody is speaking English here, he is the most modernized person. It's not. Modernization never comes from what you wear, what you speak. It only comes how you think. Okay, that is the only thing. You don't, you somebody is wearing a sari, and you will already assume like, okay, might not be she might be a housewife, or she is doing some job which is not very high-fi. It's not like that. That is what our mentality is. That is what we judgmental to be. That reflects our attitude, not her, or her thinking. It is, she might be a IS officer, we never know. She's just going for a job, and we thought like, okay, she doesn't know anything, so she is wearing a sari or something. It's not. It's just the culture that she is respecting it, and that is her family's attitude, that they have made sure that they know exactly how to bring a child. It's not about the dress, it's not about the culture, it's about the thinking. Now we'll go to the next. There are only 3 factors that affects your attitude. If you think all these factors are all right with me, there should be any one factor which really affects. That is economy. Now, how does the economy affect? The economy effect is first, a person's attitude. Issues like salary status, work environment, how much salary he's gaining. That is all also affects his attitude. Means if a person is earning enough for his let's say he's maintaining his lifestyle, then he's thinking all the time positive, there's nothing bad will happen to him, and that is how he is also gaining the positive attitude. Now this is the 3 factors we have generally said. Okay, we are not going very much brief into this, because already we finished 15 minutes here. We don't want to waste much time, and I'm not also covering anything about women empowerment, so don't worry, I'm not going to go in that part also. Sometimes I go very deep in it. Okay, now we'll see how we can actually, how the work environment affects. Sometime you are working with somebody else, and you are at the higher position. Now the other person is very jealous of you. Okay, this is sort of, this is the experience only what I'm very jealous. And it might be your age, that your subordinates might be jealous of, or maybe your good look, or your higher contacts in the company, or you are getting a higher wages. That is all different part, but somehow they are very jealous of you, particularly in your work area I'm talking. The reason might not be very clear why he is jealous. Now we can see how you can deal about it, because most of us, we might be going through some negativity in our mind where we cannot actually get any psychological aid. We always think like, we are okay, but it's not. It's actually the negativity, what you are not feeling happy, that all is actually making you hollow inside itself. So what you have to do is, normally you have to overcome all these things. Now when you are actually working with these people, so now you have to please can I get the next slide please? Okay, now how you are going to handle this negative attitude. First, let me, when I got selected, I told you I'll share my own experience. I was out of 100 boys, I was the only girl who got selected that time. So this is, I'm talking about year 2002. So I don't know, it's because of my name they got mixed with the boys, like it's like Amita or something like that. What it was, no other girls got selected. So when the list came out from the college, they said like only one girl has got selected, and now you are going to be that. Already I had applied for Karnataka CET, and then my engineering. I planned for doing a mechanical engineering, but now all the seats were full, and the college already started in September. And later they mentioned in September, when I joined the college, they mentioned like, okay, you are the only one girl who is going to be with the 99 boys. Now just imagine the situation I have. It's nothing like you can go from your home morning and come back in evening. You got to stay in the hostel, and you have to do all your routines, whatever it is, everything with the this one men. So what the college said, like, since you are selected only one girl, will not afford the women's hostel for you. It's really because instead of is I'm clear, sir, Sabik sir?
Yeah.
Okay, they said like, literally this happened to me. It's not nothing like joke. I'm just making very high-fi. No, nothing. It is a scenario which happens with most of the ladies. So they said like, okay, you quit the course, you go to your home. Okay, we will be happy to take a male child, and who can settle down with this 99 boys. But thing was that, like, I strongly determined that I want to join this navy. Okay, they said like, okay, after 1 or 2 months she will run away. That what they planned. The college itself, not the other boys, or I'm talking about the director and the deputy director of the college. Okay, 1 or 2 she will leave her letter. So I got settled down in the boys hostel. They gave me a room. Literally after 10 o'clock in the night, the watchman is to come to our room, and he used to lock us. He used to lock me, and I had a PG girl, but she was not from our course. She had joined some other shore based course. So she luckily she got entered in this course, and he will come and he will lock us and put a lock on it at exactly 10 o'clock, and morning 5:30 he will open the lock. Before that he will not open the lock at all. So is it safe if there is a fire in the building? Is the watchman going to come and rescue us? No, he's not. But that time we don't know what is safety, what is security, what we have to think, because we are just 18 years old. We just came out of +2 and we got into the class. I was from like a very small town in Dandeli. You can call it as an English medium school, but still if somebody asked me like, what is your name, I would cross the road itself. I never speak to the guy who is very good at English, or who is to question us in English. So even when I went to the college beginning, the other students were very good at talking English, and they were very good at everything. And mostly they used to we had morning 5:30, we had exercise, we had to run for 10 kilometers and all that morning. They used to tell us we'll get very strong and this and that. Now my attitude towards this was positive. I thought like I'll finish the course anyway. And then I one day what happened was, this all boys, I was doing this workshop training, and they all threatened me. They, so normally they already boycotted me from very first day, like they didn't wanted a girl for this course, so that is fine. Then they threatened me like, you come back to the hostel, we'll show you. So what I did was, in the boilers today 500 kilometers my college, then we were doing the training in Bombay. My house was 550 kilometers from that place. And literally I sat with the boiler suit, okay, that work boiler suit. I sat in the bus, I went to my house. I was so much scared, like that was like a life threatening for me, that scenario. I faced this type of threats plenty time of in my sea culture, but this is the first one I ever faced. So I remember it very this one, how I felt about it, because there is no ladies at the hostel and I didn't want to go back, so I went house. But when I went house, my mom asked me like, this is college, it was somewhere March, and is going to be exam very soon, so how come you're going to, how come you're in house? So I said like, no, nothing happened, we got our exam leaves. So as soon as I saw the bus, I got out. I did not get time to go to the hospital and change and all that. But that moment it make me felt, if I say that my something is bad happening at the hostel, I didn't wanted to stay there, I felt threatened, that is the mom would say like, it's okay, but they have taken so much of education loan, this, because normally uh, uh, they teach you, parents, they want everything nice for their kids. So whatever they have in their heart, like, okay, a child wants to be go for aeronautical engineer or want to be a MBBS doctor, it's fine. How they will make it like, they will never tell the difficulty. So that what happened same. When I saw my mom's face, the very next day I said, I'm going to go back to the college and I'm studying. That day I entered back, but that day I thought, whatever it happens, I'm going to face it. I'm going to be, I'm going to never, if I'm scared, okay, and sometimes I'm very scared. When there was a piracy attacks, normally in the Somalia region, okay, our ship used to go to that region with 22 men and one me. So there is only one lady. I was a fourth engineer, and I used to get very very scared, because I used to think like, when you hear about other ship or Somalian attack, they took the ship inside the Somalia waters, and they took all the 22 crew members to the pig hut, pig stay, where they are made to stay with the pigs. Okay, that is the scenario basically what we talk in the engine room, engine control room. So it was very 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 scaring. That time one day the ship stopped in Red Sea, and I got very, believe me, that is the day I knew what fear smells like. You might think like, I was scared, or I become like, a dog jumped at me and I got scared. But just imagine that the only thing that rushed to my mind was, if the ship get caught, okay, the ship get caught, whatever it is, but just one girl on board, okay, and there are going to be so many pirates. I just felt like, I should like, jump overboard, just because the ship's engine stopped. And that day, the feeling what I that feeling what I that day, that feeling what I got was very very different type. But what I did was, I handled the situation, okay, very 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 calmly. I was very scared. I didn't show that to affect other of the crew members, because they were also very much like, they were also scared. But my the way I got was different. Our both the causes were different. You can understand, only one lady and so many pirates. That is different thing. Okay, so now we'll come back to where we left. Okay, so we'll go to how to handle the negative attitude. Okay, first, handle such workmates carefully. Okay, how you're going to do the carefully? Okay, I have so many other things to share, but I think there is a limited time here. So we'll just speed up things and we'll go only to the important parts where we can actually gain something. So how you going to handle the your workmates? So first thing you is going to do, okay, you cannot trust the person whom you are working with. Still, because he can backstab you anytime. Okay, that is the thing. So the guys who have their knife on you every time, so you don't feel to perform in front of them. Like not means you don't want to do anything like okay, let him do whatever it is. He is going. I don't want to take that chance. Now automatically you were from positivity, you already jumped for the negativity. Now what you have to do is you shouldn't let go everything. The other person might be having something else in his mind. Maybe he is troubled with the puzzles. Like when I was a junior engineer, I'll tell you a scenario. What happened was the junior engineers, they always work in because second engineer, whatever it is, they go and tell to second engineer, directly report to the second engineer. So he was mostly the second engineers are there because we don't have our engines, compressors, boilers at our house. Okay, whatever it is, we got to go on board and learn it. So when we go on, these are your mentors: the fourth engineer, third engineer, chief engineer, second engineer. These are all mentors. So when I was cadet, he was okay for first 2 months. Last month, what happened? He got some problem at his house. By maybe his wife was about to divorce him or something. I don't want to name or something like that. I'm just telling a scenario. So what happened was he started behaving literally like against women. Means he never used to get bothered much. He was a very 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 good person. I used to think like, thank God I got a second engineer like this, because he's teaching us also and he's making us work. Later suddenly his attitude completely changed. That is what happens, like when you are it might not be the exact reason, that you might not be the exact reason, he might be suffering from some other reason. So that you have to know what he is suffering from. Set your limit and confront. Sometimes it's not easy to go and confront somebody, catch the collar and say like, why you are acting like this stupid. Okay, it's not easy. You just go and because you have to work with that person also, tomorrow you have to go and face him. Okay, so you'll just not go and fight with somebody. So what you are going to do? You are going to actually tell what you cannot do something about it. You can appreciate him. Okay, not like you just do like buttering or something like that. Appreciation is like whatever he is doing a small job or something, you just keep on appreciating. Oh yes, good that you have done something like that. You should be doing this, is very good, so that he actually takes out his mind from whatever he is stressed out. Okay, that is what. Now third is breaking the ice. That is what is where it comes, like you can directly go to and complain to your higher authority, or you can go and directly talk to the person and say like, this is the problem between me and you, why this problem exists. That is where you call the breaking the ice. And or you can do one more thing, is offer himself help. You say like, whatever is troubling you out, let me you just talk to me. But it's not easy every time you just go to, because we people, we are sharing maybe one contract which is just 2 months. 2 months we know each other. He signs off, I joined, then I will sign off, other person joins. It's something like that. So we don't stay with each other for very long time. So we don't get like, he cannot just trust us with anything. So on board I'm talking, but on shore it is like one person may be meeting the other, like maybe they are staying together for 2 or 3 years until he or she's been transferred or something like that. So you can tell like, okay, you can tell to me, if I can offer you some help, I will literally offer you. Spend time with the difficult person. Now spending time with the difficult person is not like you go to his house and 12 o'clock you say like, okay, I want to spend some time with you. It's not like that. Spending time with, maybe when you have a get together or something like that, and you see that person is sitting alone, you just try to be a little bit friendly. Okay, you say like, what happened, like, okay, this that, normal small chit chat. So what you are doing here is you are actually bringing the from negativity or bringing the other person towards the light or positive attitude. That is one. Now yourself, now if you are a positive, you have a positive attitude. Can you please show the next slide, Sabik sir?
Yes.
Okay, what is the benefits of positive attitude here? So the positive attitude keeps you happier. I hope so. It's now don't really do this like positive attitude and let go everything attitude is different. Positive attitude is somebody saying like you cannot do this job, or I'm getting tired. Can you boost his energy? And let go energy is like let go the job, let us go and enjoy somewhere outside. That is called as let go type. I'm not talking about let go type. I'm talking about positive attitude. So the maximum beneficial work is done. Okay, now increases the chances of success. Okay, you think always positive, and you think like, okay, this job is cannot be done, so you think of other ways how the job is to be done. Okay, be more creative, helps to make a better and wise decision, because you are as soon as you are being a positive, itself will take all the stress out of your mind. And study shows people with positive attitude stay long and healthy. I'm not sure about it, because it's been a little bit while that I'm gaining this positive attitude type feeling. Before and all, it was like no, okay type, okay, let go type. But now I'm literally thinking, we have to be something useful to the society, useful to the community. That type of thoughts. Most of the time, I feel like that. Okay. So next is Sabik sir, please next slide.
Yes.
How to gain a positive attitude? We'll go faster in this. So how to gain a positive attitude? Have a morning routine. Okay, whatever, when you wake up, whatever you feel like, okay, put a music alarm or something like that. So yeah, whenever you wake up, the whatever music you feel like hearing, you just put that and you bring it up. Carry an attitude of happiness with you. Morning you wake up, you see the other person, you just don't say like, okay, sometimes it is different, like your subordinates or your juniors, they're just going and they have something in the mind. It's not that you are seniors who will not tell good morning first to him or her. It's not needed, because when you say good morning, maybe the other person will be very happy. He would say, okay, the sir himself is so polite and down to earth that he, instead of I wishing him first thing in the morning, he did wish us. That might be the positivity the other person might get that time. And next is small happiness, whatever it is. Big happiness, even I live for one day. Tomorrow I only plan for tomorrow. I don't plan for very long. I plan tomorrow. And some people say like, if you plan this, that, everything, one day you are planning this, one day you are planning that, one day you are planning that. So one day you will be out of the boat, or you will fall down in the ditch, something like that. But I say like, whatever actually for makes my day that day, only that thing I'm thinking about. What makes me happy that day? What if what I do will make me happy? Maybe a small dish, or a food, or talking to somebody on phone, or watching a small cinema. Okay, that is little bit. Sometimes I'm very much like, I feel very much stressed out. I put any one movie and I take a pack of Coca-Cola and chips and just sit in front of the TV. That makes me happy, literally. That because it makes me happy, because when I was back on ship, I used to work in engine room from morning to 8 to 5, and I used to get literally tired because I didn't have any energy. Just imagine you are lifting 25-30 kilos and you are tightening the bolt with the 30 spanner, 32 spanner, and all the time you're in the stress that you have to compete with the men on board, because they can lift so much. So you got to show them that you can lift so much. The other person is tightening a board of spanner of 30, you got to show him that you also can do it. That stressed out competition is always stresses you out. I literally, after some time, it was like that, I can lift 30 kg, can you lift it? I used to ask the other person, I'm lifting this, please lift me and show me right now. Because initially may I not be having that kind of energy, because we are just from plus two, from cradle, just getting out of that. and you are coming in front of this world, vast world, and everything you see is like nobody to support you. That's literally bad. Sometimes I feel this not very big, okay, very small things, like you cannot call it ragging or something like that. You call like seniors, they tell the juniors, sorry, you go to the this one canteen and bring me a Coca-Cola or bring me a Sprite. Okay, I'm not saying that literally this is good thing, okay, this has to be, no. I'm thinking this, the other junior person, when he goes out of the word and his boss tell him to bring him a cup of coffee, you'll never feel bad about it, because he's already done this, and he will take that thing in the positive. Okay, today I learned to make a coffee. Okay, I'm making a better coffee. So when he later after so many years, he might be at that boss chair. Okay, that time he will exactly understand, like it was not a big issue when that boss actually told him to do something like that. Okay. So that is what I'm saying, like a small pleasures or something, you just okay with it. Smile whenever you have a trouble, you don't show it on your face, oh, I'm trouble, I'm having headache, oh, I'm going to go and rest, sometimes I'm feeling so tired. Don't show it. I'm not showing like you are big facing and you are not eating your food and this that. You cannot show whatever it is to the other person. I have learned it, and that too very difficult way. Believe me, I learned it in very difficult. I used to feel so scared inside, when this 6'3" boys and all, I got selected in the campus interview for the company, and they said like this seat was for us. We were supposed to get selected because it was out of 100 students, 10 got selected for an interview, and after 10 students, 2 got selected for the company, and that was one, me and the other person. And it was one of the best companies. Only those companies used to come to the UK colleges. So the other person, he came, and he just, I was sitting on my I'm talking this about UK scene, okay, it's not in India or somewhere else. I was writing in the college at some desk. He came with the angry, he picked up the desk with his one hand, and he rolled it up away. He thrown it far. And the only thing I felt that time, I'll end up unconscious now, it was so much scary. But I did not end up. I just kept a smile on my face, and literally the other person thought like, it's not going to make her scared, and it was, and the other person didn't have guts to go any further to it. Okay, to do something really bad, you need really more energy than to do something really good. Good, you can take, okay, I'm giving this donation, okay, it doesn't even remember maybe. But something you do bad, that whole day you will be thinking about it. I did this. Maybe that whole year you will be thinking, why did I do this, why did I do this? So that takes more energy out of you. So whenever something comes like this, I'm not saying like somebody comes with a knife and try to stab you outside the ATM and you just give a smile, okay? I'm not, you don't please mix up the scene here. I'm talking about threatening situations where you can handle yourself. Just don't go unconscious. That's all. If you want to run, you can run, and you can shout or call, but just don't go unconscious. That is the only thing I got to say. Okay, now take responsibility. How you can take the responsibility? You can say like, it's my life, I will take control of it. I want to do something, I'll do it. Okay, I am responsible for me, what I am doing. Okay, now if you think you are going on a new bike, and the bike got accident, you don't just go to your home and blame your mom that why did you bring her give me a bike. Okay, that is not the thing. This is the responsibility. You should be responsible enough to drive it safely. That's what I mean here, taking responsibility for every actions that you do. Don't blame others. Even sometimes, you might be right and the other person might be wrong. It might be a mistake from the other person, but just that time you just let it go, like, okay, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Just a sorry. Don't bring your ego, don't bring anything. You don't have to spend more things on it. Consciousness, ego, and everything. Just say, I am sorry, it won't happen again. See, the other person is also, no, it's wrong. It's not that he doesn't have brain, he cannot think or something like. Just that moment is, it's just that the ego curtain is in front of his eyes. So he is not, he doesn't know what to tell. right now. Now, next part is small pleasures, smiles, and something. Change your thoughts. Change your thoughts is like, sorry for interruption. That was my daughter. I'm extremely sorry. Change your thoughts. You have to keep on thinking, keep on changing your thoughts. There is something changed, new changes happening. You just don't say like the old version was good. No, because it's difficult for you to accept the change. Like, okay, I will accept this change. It was see, as soon as the mobile phone went and the smartphones all came, it was so difficult for us even to type a message. If you press one word, the other word will come out and the word will happen something else, and we were so much frustrating just to type on a smartphone. But we got used to it. Now you just tell us, give that older version of where you press like 4 times you'll get a, and again you press 4 times you'll get a y. No, that will be very difficult for us. Now we got used to the change. That's what I say. Change is always good. If change is for the betterment of the community, you got to accept it and be always positive about it. Don't just stop anybody because it's difficult for you to accept it. Okay, sometimes things, I'm just giving an example, like instead of like going to the attendance book, normally you give a sign and then they bought this finger punching machines and something like that. Some people goes against it, we don't like that because it directly goes in the computer and we cannot do adjustments, something like that. But it's betterment, something later in life something happens. Exactly, they find in the click of this one, like that time where you were. Okay, you were in the school or you were outside the school compound or what it is. You'll get in the seconds. And always be enthusiasm. I am always enthusiasm, whatever it is. I keep on smiling. People ask me like how you can smile so much, and sometimes I don't even understand, because I'm not. I don't speak much of Malayalam, and my friends might be making fun of me a little. But see, it's not that they are making fun of me. It's that when they make fun of me, they are happy, and that makes me happy because I'm in that group itself. I don't understand. I know they are making fun, but it is what it is. At least talking about me or talking something about it's making them happy. So I just love that thought. They're just it's making them happy, whatever it is. So I too smile to it. Some people say like it's stupidity. They are making fun of you and still you're smiling. It's not that I don't understand it. It's only I think like that. Because I was very much depressed when I joined shipping, because I didn't wanted to join. First, when I means I wanted to join much Navy, but when I came in this field, I found it very very difficult.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Suitable, ma'am. Suitable, ma'am. Please continue.
Yes.
Sorry. So it was very difficult for me to be in this mail, because in my family there are 3 sisters and my mom, my dad stays in Saudi Arabia, and we were like a girl community, like my mom and me. So we didn't have anything much known around. So when suddenly they picked me out after +2 and they dropped me here in between the 99 boys, it was really 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 difficult to adjust. The college students, they stay so shabby. The hostels are so smelly, and it's everywhere is the waste, and they don't put everything normal way. So yeah, it is difficult, but that is what, just leave it, means just a smile. Okay, it will be okay. They say if you cannot change the world, if with your thoughts, if you can change one person's world, that is more than enough. That what I think. I cannot change the whole world in one day. Maybe I can change only in my lifetime. I can change one person's thought. I can make one person to be positive, and that is more than enough for me. I don't think much bigger I have to do. Now limit your complaints. You don't have to be always complaining. I don't get this. if you don't get this, you try to do something about it, not just keep on complaining, I need this, I need this, I need this. No, you got to think something out of the box. You'll maybe, like for example, if you don't get a bus to school today, or normally what you do, you'll take a auto and reach there by time. So that is what is a positivity. You have planned that you are going to school anyway. So you are not going to complain about it that I did not get a bus, I did not get. You are at that moment when you thought your bus is going to be late, you jumped into the auto. The same thing you have to do in your life. Stop complaining. The next opportunity what you get, you just take it and you grab it, like it's just for you. And whenever you speak, can you please slide next slide, Sabik sir? Watch your words when you're talking. Now I have made some rules in my life. You can see the rules on your screen. I hope everybody can see it. It's up to me to get what I want. Okay, nobody else can make me happy. I know it. I have set it in my mind. Nobody else. What I want, when I get it, I'm happy. Good things come to those who work hard. Okay, I know you pray to the God, you want so many things, but even God says, like, I only help those people who help themselves. So work hard to get something. I always worked hard. I never think like what I'm going to get. Why in life it's not like that. It's like you just now for sorry. For present you work. For present scenario you just work. I have to change easily and quickly. That's what I said. When you get a smaller mobile phone, you change to smartphone. And I keep going even when things get tougher. That is what I mean. That is the best part I like. When somebody says you cannot do it because it's not they say, and that is the only thing in my life that fueled me to reach this reach. I thought I'll quit everything in my life one day, and I will not go back on ship. When I joined Merchant Navy, I thought I'm getting harassed by this 99 boys all together in one. So I don't want to join the ship. I'll go home. But when I went home, they said, like, as a girl you cannot do it. If it is a male child, it was easy. So what I did, I came back. When I joined ship as a junior engineer, my second engineer said, why girls you want on board ship? It's useless. Even I thought I'll quit. After this one contract, I'll get a class 4 COC. My life is settled. I'll be equivalent to B degree that time. If you have a class 4 or something, it'll be as much as like okay, BE. You'll get a shore job as a mechanical engineer. I'll take a shore job. But when I about to quit, people said, like, you cannot do it because you are a girl. Again, it fueled me. I said, oh, okay, I'll be, because my second engineer said you cannot be ever a second engineer. I went for I completed my seat time. That is almost 4 years. And I came after my class 2. I passed my class 2. I came back on ship. And again, they said it's difficult for girls to be a chief engineer. Hardly you find chief engineers in India. Hardly, I think, 3 or 4 chief engineers. I don't know if anybody is from India, UK who has got cleared their tickets in UK and is a Indian citizen. I'm talking about ladies, not like me. So I don't even know them. So that again fueled me. Like, okay, I will become chief engineer. And I had a 3 years old daughter when I went for my class 1 exam. And people said, like, how you're doing all these things, you are doing a chief engineers. You have a daughter, you are married now, and how all these things you are doing at the same thing. I said it's not, I just live for that day. It's not like every day I want something. I just live today. I want this. Today I'm going to do only this thing. Finished. Tomorrow I'm going to do something else. And that is the only thing that kept on fueling me. I think, I don't know if everybody has slept or what. I cannot hear a single sound. If they are whatever I'm talking, they are hearing or not. So anyway, I'll finish my talk. So Can you please put the next slide, Sabik sir? Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. That is literally true. How you think about it? Sometimes you are so positive that whatever you touch, it's gold. Okay, that is the positive attitude. It's not nothing else. They say it's luck. They tell it's not nothing luck. When you something is not working and you are going to that thing, maybe a machine, okay, maybe a house mixer, it's not working. Everybody's tried the button, and they have done 1, 2, 3 position, everything, tried a reset, everything. And as soon as you go and you just put the switch on and it's working. And people say, yeah, you are lucky, yeah. It's magical hands. It's nothing magical hand. It's just that you had a positive attitude and you're going to the mixer and you are literally going like, okay, it's fine. It's nothing happened to it. So that is the way you are actually, maybe there are different scenarios. I'm just talking an example. Okay. It's not like you go to the electrical workshop and start because you're positive and you start repairing the mixing. I'm just telling this. That is what is attitude I'm talking. I'm not talking about magician or something. It's just an example. So whatever you do, sometimes somebody say he is very unlucky, whatever he touches it just get bust. It's not that. It might be the other person negativity to it. Okay, other person also is standing close by to that thing. You just cannot blame that person because he is close to it. What about you? You are also standing close to it. So that is what is I'm talking. Our attitude towards life determines life attitude towards us. Can you please take the next slide, please? Okay, that comes the last thing. I'm very happy about it, and I think most of you are very happy to see this slide. And even I'm very happy because you might not get very bored. So I wish thank you one and all for this this opportunity. I thank IEEE Malabar Hub for giving me an opportunity to say a few words to the people here, and I really appreciate all your efforts that you all came here in this meeting, took your time. Thank you. Best wishes. I just lay here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful session with lots of motivation. That is currently time being all of us are having different attitudes problem. And it was a very wonderful and very informative session. Thank you so much for being with us today. I request to the participants, if you are having any queries, please come forward.
Amida? Hello?
Yes, somebody
Amida?
was asking. Yes.
Amida, I'm Nishida here. I know Amida personally. She's a very close friend of me. Personally, Amida is very positive minded and very helping and spread positiveness all over the world, like a personality. So I'm very happy to see Amida in this platform. My question is...
Thank you, Nishida. Thank you. You said so much. That is more than you. Now we are best friends.
Okay. Amida, my question is, Amida done a lot of roles in your life. Amida is a dancer. I know. Due to this positive attitude, you gain a lot of things in your life. How this positive attitude helps to gain these things in your life?
Thank you, Nishida, for this question. It's very difficult one because I'm not prepared for it. Okay, I was basically a very negative minded, and a very literally negative minded. Means I thought like anything I touch will get into unlucky thing. Basically when I small younger age. I had tendency to open this alarm clocks, this, that, and radio, and everything I used to break in house. My mom literally used to call me what she used to call me Indira Gandhi. I don't know why she called me that. She called me whatever you touch is you do something out of it. That might be a good thing, whatever I touch, it's something out of it. Okay. But I was very negative in my life. But when I first ship I joined, I joined. And first ship, that is how you go to a port and then you jump into your smaller boat. because big ships, they don't come inside the port, they are outer anchorage, because the depth of the water is too much at the outside and very little depth in the towards the port or shore. So you go, you get inside these small boats, and then you go, and then what you do, there is a pilot ladder, the ladder of a rope. Okay, from this small boat you got to jump in the big boat, the big ladder of that boat. It is hanging outside. They cannot keep a metal ladder because the smaller boats, they are jumping out like up and down all the time. So when the small boats come up and the big boat, like they align like that in the ladder at the same phase, you got to jump on the ladder, pilot ladder, and then you have to go up, and then you will find the metal ladder, and then you have to, it's like almost 50 feet or something like that. When you're going on the ship, you have to climb all the way. That time I was very, 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 very scared, you know. That moment I thought, I don't want to jump on this rope ladder, whatever it is. Whatever people say, you know, girls cannot do it, let it be. Life is there, heaven is there. That was a negative part of me. But some part of me was saying like, no, you can achieve this. Okay, when I jumped from that, because I was so much scared, so much literally scared, you know, it was like, you know, from that pilot ladder, because I was not very much well trained for this rope ladders. Literally, when I jumped out of that ladder, I got out of the ladder, came up to the deck area, and I saw down below, it was almost 30-40 feet of water after this. And so I did this. This is me. This is something I didn't knew myself from long time. And that positive attitude, till now I have it. Means things, I think like in something I cannot do it, I can do it. It's in my unconscious. If I try, it's 100% I can do it. There's nothing like I cannot do it. That attitude, that positive attitude just kept me going till here. So it helped me to gain whatever I have gained in my life. And this past, I think 2004, literally 2002 to 2020, it's almost 18 years now. And almost all, don't please judge my age, okay? Because I'm telling you all these dates. Okay, that is what has kept me. I hope Nishida ma'am has got her answers.
Okay, Amida. Okay. Please tell about you are making lot of cakes, a variety of cake section. Please tell about also that.
Okay, cake baking is my hobby. It's not something, you know. Literally, I started the cake making because my daughter studies at Silver Hill School. I got plenty of friends over there, and they all actually told me, "Oh, you're doing it good. Do it. You know, literally, they told me that I'm doing it better, so I have to take it as a small scale business or something like that." So that positivity from others, literally they pushed me into this. I was not like thinking about like, you know, doing something like that of my own, but it is a small cake business, nothing to tell more about it. My daughter likes to eat cake more more often actually. Maybe I'm very much you can say like stingy, you know, why to buy every day from the shop when I can make it at home. It's quite expensive to buy, you can see like that way. But that business has somewhere given me more patience actually. When you're working with the cake designs and all that, mostly you are more creative and as well as you have to be patient. So when I got out of the ship, I was not that much I didn't have much patience, you know. I was like working with the machinery, I want everything quick, it has to be done right now, means right now, that type of nature. But when I went inside this, I literally, it was like a meditation for me. I'm making money, you can say like you're making money. It's all different thing. It's that is what is. I went little bit of making cake. I'm you can say like I do so many things. I'm a member of Merchant Navy Club Calicut, a treasurer over there, and I bake cakes. I am a freelance surveyor. I do this external survey trainee for DG shipping, and, and I don't find much of free time. You know, whenever free time I get, I think like what next I can do. That is what I keep on thinking. Someday my husband says like, you are in everything now. I don't know. Someday will if you, they say na, if you're riding two boats at a time, you will fall in between. That's what he says. If you're riding all the boats at the same time, I don't know where you are going to end up. Thank you, Nishida, for
Thank you.
asking this
Thank you.
question.
Thank you, Amida.
Is there any queries? Amita ma'am, there was a very good comment from one participant, Vidya Manikantan. She is telling that, ma'am, you are good now. Now good. Sorry, ma'am, you are a good role model to every girl. The way you must have been with your shipmates should be good. So you have a good and positive attitude. And from your that is discussion also, what I'm also basically I'm feeling that from your experiences might have took you into the positive attitude.
Thank you, ma'am, for this. I was basically very strict at ship. I don't much communicate, and you see, whenever people who are sailed with me, they might say like, okay, she has got much of ego. She doesn't talk too much because on ship, there is one thing: if things go wrong, nobody is there to handle them.
Okay.
At shore, you things get wrong, you could just take a phone, you call a police, and you say like, okay, this thing happened. You just come and take that guy away. Okay, but on ship, how are you going to tackle the things? 22 members, and you got all this other nationality crew. They're Russians, Ukrainians, Pakistanis. I said with Pakistanis, European, Chinese, Singaporean, and Spanish, African guys. I sailed with everyone. I was in 6 months in my ship was on this one, doing a smaller transit in Africa. I was 6 months there. And I was a junior engineer that time. Most of the, when you take this bunker oil means the oil what we get for burning in our engine room. So that oil, when you take, normally it's fourth engineer's duty that he will go to the smaller ship. Inside the smaller ship, they'll take a bucket and they put it in the crane and they just lower you there.
Okay.
So you go there, and still you'll find that is the African region. You'll find 10-15 African guys, just staring at you. And you just cannot smile at that time. The smile doesn't come out of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Believe me, that is the most because it's not that the guys will just come and attack you like a lion. No, that's not. They are very sober. They're very sweet also. Sometimes when they huge guys talk, the sweet sound from their mouth, they comes in literally thinking the guy is so huge, and the way he's talking is like a baby.
Okay.
But only the appearance, it never matters. It all thing is, or everything matters. This thinking, just seeing, that was the first thing I said when I came inside the meeting, and never be judgmental.
Okay.
If you are judgmental, everything goes wrong. First only you made something like, okay, this person is like this. Then what? If 100% he's doing something good, you will not think good about it, because you have set your mind that this person is like this. So that is scenarios. You are working with all the crew members, all different nationalities, and you have to be little bit strict, be professional. I say most of the juniors, when they come to the college or whatever, I ask them to be a student rather than being a friend or being a daughter or being something else to this one, lecturers or this one. You have to be professional. You are a student, you are a teacher, you be professional. The sir is like a father to me. That is all okay. Outside the compound wall, but when you come to study, you are a pupil and he's a sir. That time only you can gain that knowledge. Did you see a doctor, a surgeon who is doing own surgery on own daughter? No, he will not do.
Yeah.
That is the same scenario if you call a sir a father.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing all these things with all of us. Definitely that will help all the participants also. And in between, there is an instruction to the participants. We have given a link here for the feedback, and please fill it and submit it as soon as possible to get you the certificate of participation.
Thank you. I hope everybody fills it out. Or I'm going to actually take a picture of this participant and literally call them out.
Definitely.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you very
There
much.
is a query from one participant. There is a query. Is there any terrible experience for you in your ship which you were needed to handle?
Oh my God, don't ask me. That was one of the very, very, very terrible experience. Like I cannot just, I was literally, I was not scared of it first, to be frank, because I was unknown of it. Okay. And when I came to know about it, I was literally scared, something could like that happen. And me and my husband, we sailed together for 5 years. It's not like if people cannot, husband wife, they cannot sail together. Father son, they cannot sail together because it's a company's requirement. One second. If we sail together, what happens is, if one person's like, there is a very limited crew on board, maybe 15-20 crew members. If something happens to, there is a father and son scenario, so something happens to the son, automatically father will be, he cannot work, he has got stress, and you cannot afford losing one more person. Already you have lost one person, you cannot afford to lose one more person there, because whatever job he has to do for the others safety, he has to do, literally that he has to do. But we sailed together because we had this, with the company, like we'll sail together on much longer contracts or something. We used to sail for 11 months because the company also then used to get, they don't have to do the crew change, because if they have to do a crew change in three months, when we are sailing for 11 or 12 months, they don't have to do the headache of a crew change also. And we were basically on engine officers. So it will take much time for us them to select the officer and then send out on board and bring it. That was the scene between us. So what happened? We went to, I think Nigeria. We went to Nigeria, and we went to take the oil. We were on a tanker. So our ship was like it was a VLCC. It was a 2 football court. You can actually accumulate 2 football court in that ship. That kind of ship I'm talking about. And we went into Nigeria, and then suddenly the political war broke up. And what happened is that the other political party, which was in the ruling, they jumped out of the seat, and the other political party, they came, and they didn't wanted to sell the country's oil to the outsiders. So what happened? The Navy officer, they came close to the ship, and they instructed us like, okay, you take the ship to inside the port. We are going to arrest you. It was nothing nothing wrong from us. Okay. So what happened? We went. We have got a Russian captain. So Russian captain said like, okay, we will follow you. But Russian captain knew that once we get inside the port and they get us arrested, there is no chance that we will come out of that ship alive, maybe, from that scenario, because the political war is going on. So captain said like, okay, we'll follow you. This is a big VLCC, 2 football court type of VLCC. And it's very difficult to turn like that, so we'll just go outside the international waters and we'll turn it and bring the ship inside to the port wherever your direction you're saying. They said like, no, you got to do it. So we went inside a little bit more, and then we just turned a little bit. But when we turned to 180 degree, the African Navy, they came to know that we are going to run from that, and ship speed is not more than 15 kilometers per hour. 15 kilometers is nothing. A cycle you are riding, that is the ship's normal speed, 15-16 kilometers. So that is a big ship. So it is turning and it's going. Now they cannot stop our ship. They started to do firing. They fired 300 rounds of AK-47. I think there were so many, and they bazooka. They fired one bazooka on the ship backside propeller, so that our propeller, the turning wheel, which actually give the moment for the ship, they thought if they fire that ship, if they cut the propeller, then the ship will not go anywhere. It's easy for them to come on deck and just arrest the captain and take the ship inside by their own pilot. Tug it means pull it. With the other ship, they pull the ship. So it's very easy. But the Russian captain was so much, because Russians are much scared to this black people than we. Because they these African guys, they don't like Europeans much. For us it's okay, we are like wheat skin type, not that much glowing also. So the Russian captain, they started to fire ship. They put on autopilot. As soon as they put on the autopilot, everybody came to on upper deck.
Ship is on autopilot. It's going to the international waters now. Nobody is on the bridge. They fired everything. They broke on the ship, on the bridge. All the glasses they broke. And I'm in engine room that time, literally. Okay, I am actually this engine room. Suddenly they give this engine at full ahead, na, like you just from first gear of the car, you are just went to fifth gear or sixth gear. How it happens? Everything gets heated up. So you got so much steam to dump that I started to dump the steam in your fuel oil tanks where you can heat the fuel oil. I started to dump it. But when you dump the steam inside the tanks, you hear this loud sounds like dum 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 dum, because the steam it's passing in the pipe is like creating a vacuum, because it's getting cold. When the steam passes from the cold lines, it's getting cold and it is actually creating the vacuum behind the steam. So the steam starts hammering, the pressure increases in the pipe. So that about happening. I thought it's actually they were firing out 300 rounds of bullet. I was unknown to. I thought it's steam hammering, literally, because engine room area is below the water level. Normally, the engine room, there are 8 decks above the water level. You can say upper deck, then A, B, C, D till the bridge, and then you got from upper deck you come below, and you got the third deck, second deck, second engine room deck, ground engine room ECR deck. Then you go again 2-3 decks below, where you got GC, just walls. And so whole ship is like almost like, or you can say like a 15 floor or something like that, or 15 floor in building can easily go inside that. So I'm standing at the bottom of the ship, where actually you can hear they are firing and all that, but I'm not, like, I don't know. My husband is with me and he's literally scared, he's literally scared. And he's saying me, he calls me Teen Saab. That time I was third engineer. And he says, Teen Saab, ore nahi valaka pratik ki. So I thought, like, why is he saying nahi valaka pratik? Because that is literally when, that is a height. When he says to pray for a nahi valaka, that is its height, something bad is going to happen. And he never mentioned me, something this is happening outside the engine room. I was running here and there to do everything. Later, when I went outside the deck, I saw all the bullets. They have broken all the accommodation, all these bullet capsules. A bullet has fired the ship side deck, and all, it's like this big hole. They are firing this. You see these bullets all on the floor, on the beside the ship, everywhere. And that scenario, just imagine if that scenario means you are running from a navy, African navy. If you get caught when you are getting run, nothing they will do. They'll just take you as a prisoner. They will shoot you. They will put inside the water. Nobody will come to know what happened to you, what happened to your ship. Literally, they are going to do that. And we are risking all our lives for what? Adventure? Literally feeling ourselves that we'll get to see the world. We are going to be at that. It's not that. When you literally come to this field, initially you might be thinking like, I get to see all the world. I can see Europe, Australia, America, North America, South America, all countries. No, it's not like that. It's the responsibility. With responsibility, with powers, great responsibilities also are attached. So that is the scene where I was literally unknown. But when I came to know, like, this big thing happened to everybody, even the bullet, the glass piece, it came and hit the chief officer. So he was on the watch and he was steering the ship, before autopilot. So that glass and come and hit his eyes, and his eyes inside people got cut. And literally, nobody is actually, taking care of him or nothing. He is also not taking care of him. He's like, his eyes he cannot open. It has been swollen like anything. And he just smoking 1 or 2 cigarettes, as if that is going to be the last cigarette of his life. That's the thing he wanted to do at that moment. I think literally now also, means he just, that might be he got 5 minutes. He might think like, after 5 minutes, if they fire a bazooka or a bomb on the ship, we are everybody going to die. Okay. And he just want to smoke before he dies. That is the scene. That's what I have to say. That is a literally, out of scene. Like, I never heard, before that I never saw a bullet also. When it hit the ship, and when they fired the bomb, it just passed the propeller and hit the backside of the ship. You say aft, we say aft, astern side. So it hit the ship. There were two this one, bulkheads like 2.5 inches thickness, 2 plates, you got 2, 3 plates, then you get this water level outside, and that all got hole, single hole, like, something has just passed through it. And that thing, if it comes to the engine room where we are standing, literally that, I don't know what would be my last day. I'm talking this about 2003, 2013. Sorry, not 2003, 2013. So that is the scene,
No,
literally.
thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this terrible story. Even because how you have overcome to all these things, and even though that good smile is still there, and you are enjoying your life. Thank you so much. And again, many comments are there from the participant side. Says that is we could confirm, assure that they all enjoyed the session, and they all needed like you only, because they all have there is many good comments are there, and so many already know about you. And here is the last question. She posted like that is a, if I won't, ma'am, have you think any time if I won't join on this captainship or doing any engine works or else something, then I will miss good experience in my life. How you feel like that? That's what the question asking.
I know every field has got their ups and downs. It's not just I'm saying like Merchant Navy, it's also Indian Navy, military. You see, there are so many things out there.
Yeah.
It's not just Merchant Navy. Everybody has good and bad experience. Even you can say if you have a bus driver also driving in Kerala, he has got good and bad adventurous life every day, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely, definitely.
Okay, so he is on that road. He is adventurous all the day. He is driving inside out of the city. So it's not that we need to think like how we can actually take our profession. The grass is greener on always other side, they say. When they come in this field, might be they enjoy. If I have been an aeronautical engineer, maybe that would be good. If you are aeronautical engineer, you will think if I was a pilot, I could have got a flight to pass. When you are a pilot, you think I have to work day and night. Now if I
Yeah,
was
right.
something in 8 to 5 job, I could have slept night easily, and I could have enjoyed my family life.
Correct.
If you're enjoying your family life, you say my life is so boring that if I was
Yeah.
something else, it would have been fun. So that thing we have to stop. We have to stop complaining.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you
I
so
think we are
much.
all.
That is, yeah, no, thank you so much that it was a very active session throughout. And to all the students, all the participants, many are still there, and they are very keenly hearing from your side. Thank you so much for being with us with this IEEE webinar series. And we will be in touch with you again and again in future also. Anyway, some of them are asking for your contact details. So again, they may wanted to invite you for their programs in schools,
You
and
can
somebody
you
was
can ask Sabik sir. Sabik sir can always forward the contact details if he has it. Or they can directly contact maybe this one, or I can share my email ID, but I don't know how it is good to share an email ID on this platform. I'm not sure about it. So what I'll do is, Taslima ma'am, I'll just forward the details to you. You can, if somebody wants it from you, they can take it from you, because
yeah, if you could give your email ID, I can post it now itself here in this chat box, or you can add directly.
okay, I'll add it directly. That's my email ID. If anybody wants to contact, that should be fine.
Okay.
That's my contact ID. So I haven't read anyway this one. Once everybody logs out, and I think the session will end. So I didn't read any of the chat messages. Let me just go through once. If something
Okay.
something, I don't know if I can. Just a minute. Just a minute. Oh my God, so many messages. I haven't even. Thank you for all the messages. It's really I appreciate this one, the effort taken by IEEE to bear me so much time. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. And I think we should end this session. Sabik sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming here and accepting my invitation and giving a talk. Actually, I just spoke whether you can give a talk, and she really accepted and told that, oh yeah, she actually told that she actually thought that it was immediately. But I had given him much time to prepare. So hope you had given a good session and all the participants had got more attitude, like positive attitude from that, and they will definitely follow that. So that's what we want. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank
Amita.
you, Sabik sir. Thank you. And have a nice day. And have a nice life to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.